What's up, you guys? This is Robert on Twitter at ShyBearsPlus. What's going on, Periscope? What's going on, YouTube? Just coming through with my week 4 preseason Buffalo at Chicago pregame show, and just doing a nice little live video, a little entertainment for you folks. Here's my season or week 4 preseason preview. Stay healthy. I'm just going to watch to be entertained. It's not exactly like we are looking at any starters here or any kind of game plans. I just want to be entertained. There's a couple of guys on the roster that I do root for and I will be happy to watch, like Hall, Gentry, Nall, Timu, guys that, I might not see again for a while or on this team at all in the future. It's been a good preseason, man. I feel like we have a lot of depth on the team, and I've really enjoyed a lot of what the 2s and 3s have done. And I've been pretty impressed with what the pieces put together as far as depth of this team. And there will be some... I feel like there will be some competition, at the back end of this roster, which is great. But, so, we're going to get right into it. My 53-man roster... Considering that we do not make any trades. And then also, I'm not trying to figure out who we're going to cut and then pick up off of the waiver wire. Which I see on Twitter a lot of people who are going, oh, if X gets cut, we should pick him up and put him on the roster. I'm just unsure of who you're going to pick up that is going to be, probably a late round pick that someone's cutting or a UFA that is going to be better than Irving, Fitz, or a veteran like Adebali. They've all showed some flashes. So I just don't know who you're going to get and what kind of impact they're going to make anyway. If you feel like these guys are making flashes and need to develop, then keep the guys that are on your roster and develop them. Unless you're going to pick somebody who you're penciling him in to start. But I think that we're going to see Floyd and Acho, and we're going to see Lynch back them up. So at that point, why pick somebody up? They have to learn the system, and they're going to be behind, and they're going to play slower. At least these guys are already in your organization. I would, unless you're going to be trading for Khalil Mack, or if you project like a Ray-type player to trade for him and then project him as a starter, I don't see giving up assets, really, to try to improve your team that way when you have some players that you sort of like already on your team. But we're getting right into it. 53-man roster. Robert at ShyBearsPlus. Let's go. Quarterback position. Trubisky and Daniel. I think they'll cut Bray loose. It's hard to say at this point because we don't know exactly what Pace is going to do what Nagy's going to do with their quarterback position, how many they're going to be keeping first year with this team together. So I think that they will cut him and then leave him hanging out there. I don't necessarily know that anyone's going to try to sign him before the beginning of the season and guarantee his roster, guarantee his salary. So maybe they play that game. They let him hang out there, and then, hey, you're on call. If needed, we'll scoop you up, and then you'll be not guaranteed. So that's what I think is going to happen. And again, some of these are going to be, a combination of what I think is going to happen and what I would like to happen. So continue on. Running back, Howard, Cohen, Cunningham, and Nall. I think Nall showed enough. I think he's got some versatility. I think he can do a ton of things. And all the other ones should be pretty self-explanatory. I don't think Mazzell is going to make the team. He's probably practice squad eligible anyway. First 3 years. I don't think he has like 6 games of service time or whatever the rule is. So I think we're rolling with those 4. I think Nall showed enough that you don't want to lose him. And you don't want to try to slip him onto the practice squad. Wide receiver, Robinson, Miller, Gabriel, White, Bellamy, and Wims. Although I don't really care if Bellamy is on this team or not, to be honest with you. He's had his problem catching the ball the last couple of years, and I've pretty much seen enough of it. And I don't necessarily know that I go, wow, look at that great play by Bellamy on special teams all that often, as much as I see many other players like a McManus type. Tight end, I got Bellamy, Shaheen, Sims, and Daniel Brown. I think he beats out Broniker. I just like him. I think he's a better player altogether, a better blocker, shows a lot more effort, more athletic. I think he could do a lot of things in this offense. He could be a lot more like the Burton Kelsey's type role. Offensive line, I got Whitehair, Leno, Long, Daniels, Massey, Cush, Soul, and Coward. Defensive line, Hicks, Goldman, Robertson, Harris, Bullard, Nichols, and Jenkins. Outside linebacker, Floyd, Acho, Lynch, Irving, Fitz, Adebale. So this is kind of crazy. Keeping 6 outside linebackers. They can all play teams. They're all pretty athletic. And then not having 5 inside linebackers, I kept Smith, Trevathan, Kwiatkowski, and Iggy. Kwiatkowski being your number 1 backup, and Iggy kind of backing him up. But Smith and Trevathan starting. If you need to make adjustments in the future and you want to pick up another guy, I just think, you can throughout the season, and you could change that, and you'll have to make another decision about linebacker, outside linebacker. But for the time being, I think that you could make the adjustments, and you could pick up another young guy, who's going to be on a practice squad somewhere or something, or someone that you stash. But I don't know that Timu's going to make it. But I do see a lot of people projecting that he's going to. I don't know. And this is where I'll probably get killed on this, and it is what it is. I really don't care. But it's just how I feel about it, and things could change. But I don't really feel like they drafted 2 inside linebackers in this draft because they were satisfied with the group as a whole, or that their 2 starters from last year were going to be who they were going to carry into the future. And that's just me personally, how I feel. Cornerbacks, I got Fuller, Akamura, Callahan, LeBlanc, McManus. And that was a tough decision. I don't think Cooper's making the team. I really like Grant this year. But I think they're probably going to try to stash some of that younger talent that's on the squad, on the practice squad, as their kind of backups. And safety, Amos, Jackson, Bush, Houston Carson, and Hall. Houston Carson with the arm broken, and Hall with the suspension. Between the 2 of them, I don't think either of them are eligible for the practice squad. I think they have too much service time, so you got to keep them on the roster. And I don't think they want to lose either of them. So that's where I'm at. I don't know if that's going to happen. We will see. Time will tell. Who really knows? I don't know. But that's, for the most part, who I'd like to. Obviously, if there was some sort of a trade, which, man, everyone's talking about Khalil Mack trades, and the Bears are in the top 3. If it happens, yes, I'm giving up a king's ransom for a player that's going to take a top 10 defense into the top 5, and probably going to have a top 8 to top 14 offense at worst. And now we're talking about a playoff contender and winning a bunch of games. I mean, Mac would really transform your team. So, talked about everything we're going to talk about here. Hope everybody enjoys the game. And I got an animal making a guest appearance. Anyway, that's all she wrote.